Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo! Super Mario Sunshine is a game I'm oddly nostalgic for despite never playing it as a kid. Instead, my first and only exposure of the game for the longest time was watching YouTube Let's Plays of it on my iPod Touch.
Controller's dead. No! My batteries! Crap! No! My controller batteries died!
For Mario's 35th anniversary, Nintendo announced Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which was the first time in history Sunshine would be getting a re-release. I shamefully picked up a copy the day it released, but shortly after I noticed on Twitter that Sunshine was getting trashed, with people saying it was one of the worst Mario games and isn't fun to play. I was surprised to see the reception of this game be so mixed, but decided to form my own opinion on it. So I played Sunshine for the first time, and I was not having fun at all. Why does the level design fill me with rage? Why is Mario's hard to control?
Oh my gosh, I love blue coins, I love them.
I'm a chuckster. The stupid pachinko machine! But that was 3 years ago. So this year I decided to finally revisit Mario Sunshine and give it a second chance. This video is not a review. If I were to become a game reviewer, this video would be an inconceivably large review explaining every single insignificant thing in the entire game. And as of right now, I've yet to collect every Shine Sprite. I'm only about halfway there. I want to talk about the immense love-hate relationship I have with this game, and how I want to make it my favorite Mario game so badly, but ultimately can't. To start with what I do like, I'm a big fan of the premise of this game. Mario isn't cleaning up Delfino because he wants to stop Bowser and save the day. He's stuck doing it because he's framed for a crime he didn't commit, thrown in prison, and even ends up in court.
The guilty party sits among us. It is none other than Mario.
Objection! Overruled.
Not only that, but the setting being based entirely on a tropical island, and you're always able to feel it. From the locations, music, and a whole lot of water. When we get used to things, I feel we begin to take them for granted and forget how special they truly are. Things like Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros, Big Fat Rats. Because Sunshine is over 2 decades old, I feel like people are just used to seeing Mario with FLUDD now, but I wonder how many acknowledge that to this day, Sunshine is the only 3D entry where Mario's design is different, with his sleeves rolled up and having an entire water jetpack strapped to his back. Not as a temporary power-up, but an integral part of his appearance for the entire game. It's not the biggest deviation from the Mario we all know and love, but it's something, and it's just so cool to see. Now onto the gameplay, and uh-oh, incoming bad opinion alert. People group Sunshine's gameplay style with Mario 64, even Nintendo themselves did it. However, I believe at the very least the mission structure in Sunshine is more similar to that of Galaxy. Let me elaborate. In Mario 64, the game gives you a hint as to what to do, drops you in the area, and then expects you to do the rest. In both Sunshine and Galaxy, you start a mission, the game deliberately zooms in on where you need to go, you go there, do the thing, win. Also in 64, I would often select a mission and while searching for that objective, end up stumbling across a totally different star instead, because there were so many objectives available to you at once. But it's not really possible for that to happen in Sunshine. When you select an episode, with a couple of exceptions, there's not really much else to do besides that main objective. This seems like a negative, but I actually understand why it had to be this way, and even appreciate it, and it's because the episodes in each area tell a story. At Gelato Beach, there's some enemies disturbing an egg on a tower that's been resting there for over a century. You'll deal with these enemies, and then shortly after, the legendary sandbird will hatch from the egg, and you get to ride on top of it to find a shine. In Hotel Delfino, you keep getting roped into solving the manager's problems with paranormal activities over and over again. The water in Noki Bay is polluted. At first it seems it's because of this Monty Mole or goop or blooper, but the real source of the pollution ends up being the dirty teeth of a giant eel underwater you have to clean off yourself. And then not to mention, in each area, you're able to see the other locations from a distance. It's this type of world building and continuity that makes Isle Delfino feel less like a bunch of video game levels, but rather a living world that had me invested in helping the inhabitants that reside here. I rarely encountered any conveniently placed floating platforms. Everything made to be jumped on is an organic part of the world. Now the controls, oh man. Coming from someone who used to despise these controls at first, the more I played it, I grew to really like them. In wide open areas, it's so fun to zip around at blazing speeds, and chaining together moves is quite satisfying. Also, you can do this. However, when I need to be more precise, to me it feels Mario doesn't have enough handling and he slips off where I wanted him to be. When the penalty for even the smallest of errors involves falling down to the very start of the area, or getting kicked out of said area entirely, this is especially annoying. FLUDD acts like a safety net for this insane movement speed, allowing you to correct little errors in your jumps, but when it gets taken away from you at certain points that demand for precise platforming, it can feel frustrating. And speaking of frustrating, Super Mario Sunshine is not a polished game. Most Mario games and most Nintendo games in general have always been polished, and you have to go out of your way to find glitches in them. Sunshine was unfortunately rushed because the GameCube was struggling, and Nintendo needed to get that major Mario experience onto the system as soon as possible. This results in the most frustrating Mario game I've ever played. When Sunshine works, it works. When it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. There are so many garbage shines in this game. The Pachinko game, Fruit Fetch Quest, Corona Mountain. I'm a Chuckster. The concepts for these levels aren't what make them terrible. It's that since they weren't properly finished, they end up being infuriating because when you die, it's not even your own fault. You have to try so hard to play around the jankiness of these levels. And even if they are functional, some shines are just bad. Yoshi's Fruit Adventure and Ricco Harbor is the first time I straight up rage quit a level in a long time. It probably wasn't even that hard, but the punishment for making one mistake just wastes your time so much. Here's my favorite example of Super Mario Sunshine making extra sure to waste your time. On this island, there's a pipe that leads to a secret level, but you need Yoshi to access it. Yoshi cannot swim in water, so your only option is to wait to catch a ride on these boats. Emphasis on wait. So then you finally get there, and what's your reward? Not a fun level, oh no, but one of the worst in the entire series. You ride this lily pad over poisonous water to collect 8 red coins, but the lily pad is slowly disintegrating, so you're basically on a time limit. And if that wasn't enough, the lily pad of course handles horribly because it's Super Mario Sunshine. If you reach the end without collecting all of the coins on your first attempt, like I did, you'll notice there's a pipe. Alright, well, it looks like Sunshine is finally being nice to me and letting me try the level again, because it would really suck to have to do the whole, getting Yoshi and waiting for 5 minutes doing nothing thing again. So let's go inside.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? The comrades I've lost won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you?
And blue coins are just the absolute worst. It's not only that they're hidden in extremely cryptic places, oh no. These guys are also episode specific, meaning that you can search one location to find a blue coin in one episode, but if you search the exact same place in another episode, it won't be there. The game doesn't even tell you how many blue coins you've collected in an area, meaning you could spend hours running in circles through every area looking for those last few. The thought of 100%ing this game without a guide is inconceivable. And speaking of 100%, in the middle of my playthrough, I was at about 52 shines and wondered how many I had left to collect to reach the final level. Turns out the required amount of shines was 50. Just too bad for me. I didn't have the specific 50 the game wanted me to have. In order to access the final area, you need to take down Shadow Mario in all 8 main areas of the game. Doesn't seem like a problem until you realize the Shadow Mario chases aren't episode 1 or 3, but always 7. And there's no way to skip to episode 7. You need to do episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 beforehand. Using the power of math an 8-year-old could solve, if we multiply 7 shines per 8 areas, the total shines come out to 49. And then there's the freebie you get at the start of the game. So that's 50 shines that are required to finish the game. What this equates to is that no matter how many other shines are in the first 7 in each area you get, unless you're going for 100% completion, they're worthless. Compare that to Mario 64, Galaxy, and Odyssey. With a few exceptions, you can collect as many stars or moons as you'd like to in whatever order. This allowed the player to skip certain objectives if they found them annoying or frustrating. But then we go back to Sunshine. Don't like the Sandbird level? Well, too bad, because it's standing between you and the required Shadow Mario chase in Gelato Beach. There's no way around it. You're gonna be stuck doing it eventually. It's admittedly amusing to me how people say Sunshine is the more open game while Galaxy 1 is linear. But to me, Galaxy offers more freedom in how you go about reaching the end of the game than Sunshine does. It probably sounds like I hate this game so far, but there's one more thing I adore about Sunshine, and it's that the presentation is incredible. This is one of the best looking GameCube games, and the graphical leap from Mario 64 to this game is wild. Aw man, the enemy designs, they may not be for everyone, but they're so weird, and I love them for that. The Bob-ombs have electronic interfaces, and look at this Koopa actually resembling a sea turtle. Delfino Plaza is such an amazing hub area, and there's so many NPCs to talk to and secrets to discover, and don't even get me started on the music. I believe a solid soundtrack can elevate a good game to a great one, and the music for this game is phenomenal. It ranges from wacky and silly to relaxing and atmospheric. Overall, it's super memorable. Sunshine also introduces a lot of fan-favorite characters like Toadsworth and Petey Piranha. Also, who can forget Il Piantismo? That's just a human in a Mario game. And hey, this is Bowser Jr.'s first game he shows up in. Over the years, he's become one of the more recognizable Nintendo characters, and we wouldn't have him without Sunshine, so you gotta respect that. Oh, right, this game has voice acting, and it sounds like this.
Locked him up, and now he came to steal Mama Peach again. You pest! Stop following us!
I'm not sure if this is a positive or negative. Anyways, Bowser Jr. disguised himself as Shadow Mario to frame the real Mario because Bowser told him Princess Peach was his mom, who Mario was trying to kidnap. Okay, yeah, Bowser Jr. is just a kid, but it's like, really? Speaking of the guy, Bowser's here, I guess. Not even a year earlier, Bowser was playable in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and he sounded like this. So, since Sunshine has voice acting, what does he sound like in this game?
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
I know everyone is sick and tired of them at this point, but a faithful remake of Sunshine that does things like make tracking blue coins easier and actually finishes the game has the potential to be my favorite Mario game ever. Perhaps my perception will change after I 100% the game. Maybe I'll grow a stronger appreciation for it after spending more time in Isle Delfino. Or maybe it'll just make me totally miserable. This is not a video to say Mario Sunshine sucks. Despite all my frustration, at the end of the day, I really liked it. But Super Mario Sunshine wasn't a game I wanted to like. It's a game I wanted to love. As it stands, Sunshine is around the middle of my ranking of the 3D Mario titles, behind actual good games like Galaxy and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Oh yeah.